We'd like to give a big thank you to our sponsor, Northwestern Mutual, Eves Financial Group.
Hey guys, welcome to Cooking from the Heart in Augusta. I'm your host, Abby Mufeld, and today we're going to be grilling with Chris Campbell. He's welcomed us into his home to show us how to make one of his favorite recipes, pulled pork sliders. I don't know about you, but I'm so excited to see how he does it. Let's go in and get started. Thank you so much, Chris, for having us here today. We are so excited to be here. Tell us a little bit about what you're going to be making and a little backstory of it.
Sure. Today I'm going to be making pulled pork sliders. So these are perfect for like a tailgate football season. And what I'm going to start out with today first is a rub. It's a basic barbecue rub, and it's modeled after my favorite barbecue restaurant, Southern Soul, which is out of St. Simons Island, Georgia.
Oh, nice. That's so exciting. So how long have you been doing barbecue?
I've been doing barbecues probably since about 2012.
Okay.
I grew up, in Georgia, loving the Georgia pulled pork barbecue, and I actually moved to Texas for a few years, and fell in love with also Texas barbecues, so the beef brisket, the beef ribs. So I like to think I can cook a little bit of both.
So let's get going.
Sure.
What's
Absolutely.
first?
So first we're going to make the rub. So pulled pork starts out with a Boston butt. Now, a Boston butt is it's actually not a butt. It's a shoulder, and it comes from the top half of the hog shoulder, and it's a thick piece of meat that has a lot of fat and a lot of connective tissue, so it has to be cooked low and slow. And when I mean low and slow, we're talking between 12 and 15 hours. And in order to cook that, you want to have a nice rub on the outside that creates a nice bark as it cooks. So we start out with some salt.
Okay.
And then we have, this is cane sugar, raw cane sugar.
Oh, okay. I was thinking that was brown sugar.
Well, brown sugar is next.
Oh.
A little bit of light brown sugar. We have paprika.
Okay.
Onion powder. Garlic powder.
Oh, I love garlic. Garlic on everything.
We have lemon pepper, a little bit of lemon pepper.
Okay.
Cumin. We have chili powder. And then we have dried thyme and some just standard black pepper. So as you can see, it makes a nice, pretty arrangement in the bowl. So we'll mix that up next, and we'll apply it to the meat. Okay, so Abby, if you don't mind, you want to go ahead and get this going? We can mix it up.
Yeah, definitely. Alright. So chop up this brown sugar a little bit.
So the next phase in making the pulled pork sliders is getting your pork butt ready to go.
Okay.
So this is how it will come from the store, and this is how it'll come out of the package, and it comes with this nice thick layer of fat on the top. Now, some pit masters like to leave the fat on there. I like to trim a little bit of it off because this meat is very fat throughout, and
so you don't really need that.
You don't need the extra fat. It'll just make it a little bit greasy. So take a sharp. This is a sharp boning knife, and you just want to just take it and just slice off some of the fat from the top. So this past weekend I cooked 3 of these for my granddad's 90th birthday.
Wow.
So it was started out with about 30 pounds of pork shoulder, and after cooking, because it'll shrink as it cooks, and then you have to pull the bone out. It's about left with a little over 15 pounds of pulled pork. So
how many people does that feed?
So one pork shoulder will feed between 8 to 10 people.
Okay.
So it depends on how hungry they are. And if you're doing sliders like we are doing today, then you can actually make that go a little further. So next, we want to actually apply a little bit of mustard to the pork butt. So if you can help me out. Now the mustard is it actually does not add any flavor to the pork. It just acts as a binder to help the rub stick. So the flavor will completely cook out of it. Okay. So that if you want to go ahead, just give me a little, just a rough squirt there, and I'll rub it in.
You tell me when.
That's good, right there.
All right.
And it gets messy right here. That's why wear some gloves. Now we go turn it around. We'll do the other side. More mustard. We're gonna go all the way around.
All right.
There we go. Perfect. All right. So now we have the nice yellow pork butt, and just go ahead and you want to help me out and spin a little bit of the rub on there, and I'll pat it in.
You tell me how much.
And just spread it all around.
Yum, this smells so good.
Okay, a little bit more on this side. That's good. So there's no exact measurements, you just kind of want to get it nice and evenly coated. You want to go to the sides, the bottom. This is what will add that nice colored bark that you see on the pork, and those nice black pieces or dark pieces of meat in when you eat pulled pork. I like to call them the flavor pieces.
Yeah, little crunchies. The
crunchies, yes. Now some pitmasters like to rub this before, set it in the refrigerator overnight, wrap it in saran wrap.
Let it sink in.
Let it sink in. I find it's really not necessary. A lot of times actually, my process is I warm up the grill while it's preheating. I rub my pork down and get it ready to go. So I don't find it makes too much of a difference actually.
Great. So is this it, and we're ready to put it on the grill?
This is it. This is ready to go. Awesome. This will be it's prepped, and the next step is put it on the grill, let it smoke for in between 15 to 16 hours. So a long time.
Okay. Well, let's get going then. Let's get it on the grill.
Now that we have our pork butt rubbed down, we're going to go ahead and fire up the grill. Today I'm going to be using the Kamado Joe. The Kamado Joe is a Kamado type cooker. It's a premium Kamado cooker, similar to the Big Green Egg. And what we're going to do is we're going to cook with peach wood today. So these are actual chunks of peach wood, and we're going to just dump a few in. Now the goal is to light a fire in the middle of your grill, and we're going to let that run into the peach wood chunks, and that'll cause it to smolder and generate your smoke. This is lump charcoal, it's not briquettes. Briquettes are made from like sawdust, compressed, and they include a lot of binder and filler. This is actual just carbonized pieces of wood, and it burns very clean, low ash, and it'll actually burn at a hotter temperature than briquettes. And so you don't want to use briquettes for your smoking, because the ash will actually snuff out your fire, and these long 15-hour cooks, you'll wake up and your fire is dead, and your pork butt's ruined. And next up, I have a lighter cube. Goes right in the middle. One spot is all you're lighting. Just take it. For this particular cook, we want to just light it one spot in the middle, and we're going to slowly bring the grill up to about 230 to 250 degrees to cook on it. All right, so now that we have our fire lit, we're going to go ahead and set up the Kamado Joe for an indirect cook. Now, when you cook a pork butt or any kind of low and slow type meat, you want to always cook indirect. Indirect means the heat is being blocked and coming around and filling the grill, rather than a direct fire underneath the meat. So that'll allow it to cook low and slow for a long time. So we're going to put these. This is basically equivalent to a plate setter for a Big Green Egg, but this blocks the coals from directly being under the meat. And then I like to go ahead and put in just something to catch some of the pork fat drippings that are going to come off. And as you can see, the smoke's starting to come up, and it's starting to run into the fire, starting to run into the peach wood that we have in the grill. Go ahead and put our grates on. And now that the fire is lit, go ahead and close it up. And what you want to do is watch the grill carefully. You want to catch your temperatures on the way up. So we're going to be smoking today between 230 to 250 degrees. You don't want to overshoot your temperatures, because these grills are so efficient, and the ceramic material holds in the heat so well that it's almost impossible to bring the heat back down. So catch your temperatures on the way up. So what I like to do is watch their dial. When you get within maybe 25 to 30 degrees of your target temperature, start kind of shutting down the grill to where after practice where your grill needs to be to run at your temperature. So right now we're going to run wide open and just kind of watch the grill. You have a nice thin smoke rolling out of the top. That's exactly what you're looking for. You don't want the heavy billowing smoke that's kind of will become bitter and make your meat off flavored. So just a nice thin smoke rolling. 250 degrees right now, and that temperature will hold right here until we put our meat on, and that temperature will drop a little bit. Nice big piece of pork butt on there will drop the temperature of the grill down, but it'll come back up. And so what we're going to do next is go ahead and put the pork butt on. Now, when we cook this, we're shooting for an internal temperature of about 195 to 200 degrees. And this is a question I get asked a lot: is how long does it take to cook a pork butt? Well, you don't really cook for time. You cook for internal temperature. And so I like to monitor my internal temperature with an alarm. So it's like they say on barbecue: if you're looking, you're not cooking. So you want to keep this lid closed, and just go ahead and stick a thermometer probe in there. Now, this is a Chef Alarm by ThermoWorks. It just gives me an accurate read of what's going on in my grill without me having to open it up. So that's set up right now. Meats right now is 47 degrees, and we'll close it down. That temperature is fallen down below 200, but it'll rebound as it starts warming back up, and we just let it go. And it'll take probably about 15 hours to reach the internal temperature that we're looking for at our temperature our grill set up. So now that the pork's off the grill, we've shredded it up, and it's a nice consistency there. Yeah. So we take the meat and we put it in a bowl and shred it up, and that kind of will make your pulled pork.
Okay, yeah, that looks great. See all the little crunchy pieces.
Yeah, the crunchy bits from the bark, from the rub we put on there.
It looks great.
So that now it goes on to our sliders. So we take, these are King's Hawaiian rolls. These are my favorite. Perfect for a tailgate, and small, and you can control the amount of pork you put on there. So take them, nice bread knife, slice them up. And we'll take the pulled pork and put it on. So now we've got these sliders, and I'm going to let you help me out and put the sauce on there. So
perfect.
Here we go. A nice handful of it. There.
Yum. I'm gonna wait and have you tell me how much you want me to pour.
Oh, it's how much you like, however much you like.
Well, I like a lot.
A lot of sauce as
Ooh,
well.
that might have been too much. How's that look?
It looks great.
Yummy.
It's definitely messy, but it's
hey,
good.
That's okay.
All right, go for it.
As long as it's tasty. And it smells tasty. Okay.
All right, and just close them up, and you are good to go.
Wow.
Pulled pork sliders for your tailgate, for your football
Yummy.
party, whatever you need.
This smells amazing. All right,
All right,
cheers.
here we go. Cheers.
That is so good. You are definitely going to be successful in this business.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having us here today. I'm obviously a mess right now, but it was so delicious. I'm definitely gonna try to make this on my own, though probably won't be as good as yours. Thank you to our viewers. We hope you come back and watch us again at Cooking from the Heart in Augusta. Bye.
Thank you again to our sponsor, Northwestern Mutual Eaves Financial Group.